Some identity stuff sometimes I feel a bit confused. Like I don't really see a group of people. I don't arrive at an airport and I'm like, I'm home and people look at me like, oh yeah, she's one of us. Like no one looks at me that way. I'm always other.
Before we start, can you introduce yourself to the audience first?
Okay. And I'm half Taiwanese, half Austrian. And I spent my childhood in Europe and I've just moved to Taiwan pretty recently. And I'm working and living here right now. And I ran into Jay and Cindy a couple of months ago.
I think it's 3 months ago.
Yes, 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And I was just on a lunch break, so that was a coincidence. But today, we actually wanted to hang out again, and I'm very happy that you invited me back because, yeah, it was just good to talk to you guys. You asked some really insightful questions, and I went down the rabbit hole of watching all of your videos too. So it's pretty inspiring.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. Because last time we have talked about a little bit about your background. So what it's like being half Taiwanese, born and raised in Austria.
I think growing up in Europe, I was extra aware of my Asianness. Like I felt like I was the Asian person.
Yeah.
So if people who didn't know me wanted to talk about me, they'd just be like, oh, the tall Asian. Like that was my one thing that people knew me by, that, you know, she's Asian. So that was a really big part of my identity. Like I'm Asian. And then when I came to Taiwan, suddenly I felt like I was just stripped of my Asianness. Like nothing about me was Asian enough. Not necessarily in a bad way, like you're not good enough. It's just like, you're just not one of us. It's kind of hard to say because it's not downright, it's not discrimination or racism or anything very negative like that to me. But I could feel a very clear line drawn between me and everyone else. Like even you just said just now, when we were walking around, that you did notice people saw me and immediately they said, oh look, 外国人. Yeah. So there's always a barrier between us. And it's just been flipped. So essentially wherever I go, I'm a foreigner. I grew up as a foreigner. I moved here. I thought I would be at home here, but I'm still a foreigner. And I don't think that's ever going to change at this point. So I'm making my peace with it.
Well, but that sounds pretty sad. I mean, a little bit, right? I mean,
some identity stuff sometimes I feel a bit confused. Like I don't really see a group of people. I don't arrive at an airport and I'm like, I'm home and people look at me like, oh yeah, she's one of us. Like no one looks at me that way. I'm always other. In Europe, I tend to feel that has the connotation with foreigner is more negative. Mm-hmm. When you say a word like Ausländer, it's a lot of people will think of people that they took our jobs, you know, they look at you that way, and it's a little unpleasant. Whereas in Taiwan, I feel like the connotation leans a lot more positive, and they are more interested and excited, and they want to ask you a lot of questions. But you're definitely always a foreigner. So, but in Taiwan, I do feel like there's more curiosity rather than fear and discrimination, at least from what I've experienced. So that's the difference. But yes, it is a little sad sometimes because I don't feel quite at home or like I blend in anywhere.
How do you see yourself? I mean, as a teenager, because I think maybe you have like identity crisis, yeah, especially.
Yo, he just went there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, especially if you were younger, I guess.
No, you make a very good point. I'm just looking at my friend.
Yeah.
Identity crisis.
No, I just guessed.
Bang on, bang on. Yeah, I do. No, you're
do?
You're very observant.
I mean, even now?
Yeah, even now. I feel like I started therapy a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And it's definitely one of the things that we talk about, just kind of finding myself, just because I haven't really anchored to any place. I haven't identified fully.
Like fully white or fully Asian, or just 50-50?
And I feel like I'm getting to the point where I don't want to choose. I feel like I can just be a bit of everything. And ultimately, I think in the future, a lot of people are going to be more like that because we travel more. We have babies all over the world now with people that aren't necessarily from the same places that we are from. And so I think there will be more and more mixed people, and the whole identity thing, I don't think we have to be so 卡住 in just one. I think we can just, like him, you know, just roam around and take bits and pieces of everything you like. I think I'm getting more to the point of where I look at both cultures, try to find like an outside perspective and take the parts that I like and kind of create my own
unique one? Or like
yeah. Because there are a lot of great things about the Asian culture, a lot of great things about the Western culture, and a lot of things that also don't work so well. A lot of issues with mental health and hierarchy and pressures in society that I see one side do more than the other, and then I can just be like, okay, this works, and Yeah, actually, this is one of the main reasons I do want kids. Hi. 你好。
Hi. You want to speak English?
会讲英文吗？想学吗？好，有机会学。
他看到你很 shock， 感觉得出来。
So
yeah.
One of the main reasons I actually want children is because I'm pretty excited about applying everything that I'm learning. You know, just growing up with in a mixed household and seeing the kind of conflicts that happen. And I hope to apply all the things that I learned through that and through therapy, through introspection, and just kind of reviewing my own life, and hopefully create a life and give my children a life that is full of kindness, but still, you know, you still don't let the kids chill too much. I'm sorry, I don't know how to put that exactly, but just find a good mix to provide a life that will nurture them to be kind, happy people that will prosper in whatever way that they choose.
Sound deep. Okay, so what about your personality? Do you think your personality is more like European style, or maybe you still have like Asian style?
Oh, what do you mean by Asian style?
Maybe like a traditional part, maybe Taiwanese culture, because your mom is from Taiwan, right? So I'm curious about the education, maybe influence you a little bit.
Okay, great question. I think I go through phases and eras in general. Like, I had a more crazy goth era when I was younger, and now I'm more like a grown-up, wholesome, chill, baoso area. Sorry, I meant era.
You mean in Taiwan?
Yes,
yeah.
But in terms of personality, I feel like there's so many parts that all of us have with regards to personality. Just think about how you change your behavior and your voice and your mannerisms when you talk to a small child or a dog. Like, your voice shifts a little bit, right? You go up like, oh, you're kind. Like, even just now when we talked to the kids, both of us, we went up.
Yeah, the personality will be a little different. Yeah.
We always vibe with whatever's around us. So I feel like that part, I have a lot of both. So I definitely have a part that's something that I would classify as more European, even though I also want to be careful with that because I don't think it's exclusive to cultures. But what I see more often in European culture is more like sarcasm, dark humor, cynicism. That's like my coping mechanism is humor. So I find that a lot of my jokes don't land in Taiwan because people get like, why would you say that? Like, oh no, it's just a joke. Like,
maybe cultural differences, I guess. Yeah.
So that I find more prevalent in Europe. So that's that side, and then I have a very, bright, lively side of me that's more bubbly. And I feel like that might be more Asian. Like, typically people would consider that more Asian. But I definitely go back and forth. And I notice, and my friends tell me that I change. My voice changes depending on who I'm talking to. And I find that I adapt. But they're all true. They're all a part of me, right? We don't become different or like fake when we talk to kids or to puppies or to our boss. Like, these are just different categories of our life, and they call for different parts of us. But I don't want to reduce myself anymore to just one thing. I just want to make space for all of them. And actually, I was thinking, sorry, this is random, but I was thinking about Harry Potter.
Harry Potter?
Harry
so
Potter.
Why? Yeah, I mean,
because of the half-blood prince. Because people have jokingly called me that, the half-blood princess, because I'm half.
mean when you were younger? You were younger? Yeah.
Yeah, you know the half-blood prince? Why is that such a tongue twister? Okay, and because, yes, so he's half muggle, half wizard, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, actually, I don't like that when people say that to me. Even though I mean it in a funny way, it's fine. I'm not offended. It's just, I don't want to be half, I feel like I'm double, actually. And it's a good thing.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Yeah. And it took a while. I always felt very reductive. Like, okay, which half am I? But maybe I'm both. Maybe I'm double. Maybe I get double the experience, double the joy, double the cultural, double the pain sometimes, double the crises. But it's a richness that I'm grateful for, ultimately.
还是你可以分享一些经验给他，现在自己也是混血的身份的，我觉得这应该是蛮好的 idea。那也许你可以先用中文说说看。
压力好大哦。
这是你的感觉 ，yeah。因为我觉得台湾现在有变多，我觉得这个现象 ，yeah。
就是不要太在意别人讲什么，这点我还没有做到啦，还是很难。可是你就做自己，然后你自己喜欢的事你就去做。像以前我都会不好意思吃我喜欢吃的东西，因为我喜欢吃臭豆腐，我喜欢吃榴莲，然后喜欢吃一些在奥地利的小孩子比较不敢吃的东西，那我就也不吃了。 就我自己喜欢的东西我都放弃了，我的 Hello Kitty， 我的豆腐，我的咖喱，我都不好意思说啊，没有，我也不喜欢啦，我只喜欢你们也喜欢的东西。
因为我觉得这个对小孩子来说应该会特别困难嘛，因为你不希望自己跟别人不一样。
对，当然榴莲就不一样了，你还是不要就是。
榴莲算是榴莲可能是你个人爱好。
对，不要就是拿到学校去，然后让别人全部都闻到。可是也不要因为别人就希望别人喜欢你，就不去做你喜欢的事，然后假装你喜欢的东西你不喜欢，因为你这样得到他们的 friendship 其实也都是假的，因为他们其实是不喜欢你的，所以。可这个很难呢，我觉得我这样虽然自己话我讲得出来，可是有时候我也做不太到。
那希望就是台湾的观众在路上如果再看到 Mia 的话，come on, she's Taiwanese. Okay, yeah, so just say hi, or
ignore me, whatever you want to do. I'm cool with it, you know. Just yeah, I'm grateful to be here. Actually, it's a chill place. I don't want to complain. Did I complain a lot today? I just want to.
No. Okay. It's real experience.
Yeah, it's just my experience, but I'm very happy here. Ultimately, you know, all of this is not to ever complain or be ungrateful for being here. It's just, I think, explaining, because no one, like, where else would you find that, you know, people don't just come to you and ask these questions, but maybe through your videos, listening to all these stories from different people, and a lot of people have different opinions anyway, and then, you know, that will enable a new conversation and a new awareness of what happens as more foreigners pour into Taiwan. And hopefully we can all live together in a way that's really enjoyable for all of us.